There you go.
Okay. Good morning. It is still morning. If you can make your way to the TLN Hub website, I'm going to put this address into the chat.
I also added a link just in case. It should take you directly to the digital icebreakers.
Okay. I just want to demonstrate how easy it is to find what you need. So we're just going to search for digital icebreakers. And look, here it is. All right. Everybody should be able to open it. If we can't, speak up. And then it should bring you here. All right, give us a thumbs up if that worked. Amazing. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and just as a little introduction, I am Marissa Bannerman, and I am the Instructional Support Specialist for Secondary ELA. And I'm joined by Jeannie Toole, who is an Instructional Support Specialist for Math. Yes. So we're going to do our best here to make this cross-curricular grade level and everything, but a little disclaimer is that I'm a high school English teacher, and so everything is sort of based on that. So this is a digital icebreaker thing that Molly Keys and I developed for an 8th grade earth science teacher. And I'm just going to go through and tell you about kind of our process and how we decided what to do and how these things can benefit students. And at the end, I want to hear what you have done and what has worked for you. And then we hopefully will have this shared resource of all these digital icebreakers. So I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. All right. All right. Can everyone see the Getting to Know You choice board? Awesome. Okay. So, what we were trying to do was create some opportunities for all the kids and the teachers to get to know each other while doing cross-curricular sort of applications. So I'm just going to go through and show you what we did, and hopefully it will work. All right, so this first one is my New Mexican animal. And again, this was for an earth science class, so some of these are kind of sciencey and some of them are not. And the way we have it set up is that we have this slide that's sort of the directions, right? So they choose an animal and they research the animal, and then they create a slide that shows that. And this is what it is. So the idea is you can copy and paste this slide into a classroom assignment, and then all the kids can add their own stuff as they go. Or you could have a group Google slideshow where each kid has their own slide, and then everyone can see what everyone else's animals are, which is really fun. And that's just a, cross-curricular link between animals and science. And the other part that we were trying to emphasize was teaching kids how to use the technology. So when they have to adapt the Google Slides or put in their own things. That was our secondary objective, was of course we want to have get to know you things and icebreakers, but we also wanted to give kids a chance to practice the technology. The second one is nature in your neighborhood. And so the kids will research their neighborhoods. We also wanted to give kids a chance to go outside, because I think we have all found that everyone is spending way too much time in front of the screens. And so we wanted to give everyone a chance to get away from the screen and do something that didn't involve staring at a screen. So they go out into their neighborhood and they look for New Mexico plants and animals and whatnot. And then they fill in these things. And it's the same deal where you copy and paste the Google slide into a class document or whatever. And then everyone can see what everyone else has done. And so it ends up being collaborative, even though everyone's just working by themselves. This is, I don't know if you guys have done this before, the life raft icebreaker, where you have to make a survival plan for if you were trapped on a life raft, right? And you can follow the link to see the game. And then you do breakouts, and and then they do it. So this is the slide that they copy and paste, and they work together, and they learn how to do the Google Slides. And it's also like a sort of a, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. Cross-curricular, social emotional, they have to problem solve. So that's what I like about this one. Two Truths and a Lie, I think we've all played, right? They share the facts about themselves, and then everyone votes to see which one they think is the truth and the lie. And so here we have the example of the slide. And here, this is like this is a marker. And so everyone can put their initials, and they move the marker to whichever one they think is the lie. And that I've done that in my classes before, and it's always so fun, because you think you know people and then you don't. And it's a good bonding experience to put all this out there. This was the Bitmoji Learning Space one. We have since discovered that Bitmoji is blocked for students. So I'm just going to skip past this one, but the idea is that you create your own learning space, and you collaborate about what a good learning space looks like and how to minimize distractions, and everyone's learning space is different. So I'm not sure if there are plans for the Bitmoji to be unblocked or not, but we put this together before we knew that Bitmoji was blocked. So there's that. All right. So the next one is write a poem, and this one is obviously mine because I'm an English teacher. And what I have here is they read poems about nature, and then they use the slides to do this. So I have, let's see if this will work. So I have links to some poems. And the point of reading the poems is to show the kids that there's more than one way to do things correctly, and that poetry does not have to necessarily be brilliant or complicated. There are all kinds of different poems here linked. And then what they're going to do is go outside and find something to write about and post it in the slideshow. So here's my example of my poem, and you've already met Pickle, so here he is. I call it Inside Cat. And then all the kids can put their slides and their poems in one slideshow, and everyone can read each other's poetry. It's fantastic. This one is how to create group norms. And I think this is especially important right now because none of us have any control over anything, right? So we need to involve the kids in the decision-making process. And this is one way to do that. So if you have a discussion about what makes a good learning environment and what our norms should be. So like one thing that we've all been talking about is whether or not kids should have to have their video cameras on. I would say discuss that with students. Like, what are the pros and the cons, right? So I think requiring kids to put their cameras on might be a roadblock in a lot of ways. But maybe we could come to some kind of consensus about when we need to have our camera on and when we can have it off. But the point is to involve the students in the decision-making process so that everybody has buy-in and everyone has a say in how it goes. So here is an example of a form. So the other half of this is teaching the kids how to use the forms. So here are some of the things that I have thought of, and you can crowdsource this too and get the kids to put out there what they think is important, but I just sort of made this up for this. So you rank them. I think don't be naked is very important. I think be in dress code is not important. I think materials is important, and background noise is also probably the best we can do. Oh, but we have to rank them, so let's make this one this. And that's a high yield strategy too, if you know Marzano is ranking things. Most important, don't type in all caps. Raise your hand. I'm just doing this. Be forgiving. Okay. And so you do this, and then you can go in the form and figure out what the kids think are important norms to have, and then they have some say over what's important. And I think that creating that situation where the kids have a say creates a better learning environment. And then here's a link to an expeditionary learning video about how to set norms with kids if you want to watch that. This one is an argument thing because I'm an English teacher, so I want to have lots of argument opportunities. And so they're making an argument for people in New Mexico to wear masks, and they can choose one of these scenarios and do an argument about it. So here's the slide. And again, you copy and paste the slide into a group slideshow, and then all of the stuff is together, and everyone can see everybody else's work, which hopefully will encourage everyone to expand their minds and their learning opportunities and their knowledge base. And this is another like Google slide practice thing as well. And I think this might be one of my favorite ones. This one, we were trying to go for a real life connection. And I don't know if any of you have used Indeed, but it's a job search site. And so what they do is they do kind of a visual resume about what their strengths are. And I think especially when we're talking about technology, if you have students who are really good at certain aspects of technology, they can put that in their skill set, and then you can create an environment where the kids can talk to one another about problem solving instead of you having to solve all the problems. And so here's the template for that. And this way you have everybody's email. All the kids have each other's emails. You can search the Google slide to see, like, if somebody knows how to do forms, you could search for forms under the technology skills, and then they would find someone to help. Whoa, hello, sorry. Ah! Okay, so my Harry Potter example, which hopefully is amusing. And one of the things that I get from kids a lot is like, I never learned how to write a resume. I never learned how to apply for a job. So here is something that I think is especially relevant. Okay. This is a movie poster. This is a visual thing we wanted to incorporate, right? So they connect their experiences to a visual. So if your summer were a film, what kind of film would it be? A romance, an apocalyptic film, a sweeping drama. And then you choose an image and you make the poster, and it's great. Obviously, here's Pickle, wishing that I would leave the house. That's my movie poster. And then this one, I think, is my favorite. I made all of these myself. I had so much fun doing this. So they connect their favorite shows to their emotions over the summer, their favorite memes, their favorite emotions. So you choose one meme for each month. And I made these memes, and there are a whole bunch of different programs that you can use to make memes. So like meme generator, and then you can add your own text, right? So April was my favorite because this is exactly the expression that was on my face the whole entire time. Bad Kermit is my favorite meme. Whoa. And this sums up all of May, right? I'd been cooking all of my meals for 2 months, and then I just had enough. And of course, the dog in the Hannibal Lecter mask. And this dog is wearing shoes, actually, if you click on that later, which is highly amusing to me. And then here's the template for that. And then the last one I have is practicing Googling help with something that's unfamiliar. So I have a link to a video about how to make a form. And I think that as we go forward, we need to encourage kids to solve their own technology problems. So if you can get kids to Google the answer to their own questions, then that's less work for you, and they learn how to solve problems. So here's a video about how to use forms, and then they create a poll. Here are some examples of some questions they could ask. Different types of form formats so that they can practice using all the different tools. Just a note to self, this is a hot dog, a sandwich thing is my backup plan for when things fall apart or the technology falls apart. I just start a big fight about whether a hot dog is a sandwich, and everyone has an opinion, and they have to use evidence, and they fight, and it is hilarious. All right, so what I'd like to do now is have an opportunity for all of us to share the things that have worked for us. How are you getting to know your students when you're not face-to-face? What kind of things do the kids share? What have you learned about them? And so if you can open this PowerPoint, what you do, and I'm just going to show you this, I hope, is you can put your idea in a Post-it note right here. So we're going to put Marissa's digital icebreakers. Right? And then what you do, this is so cool. I don't know if you know how to do this, but I'm very excited to show you. I invented this for this training. Is you have a slide. And
Marissa,
then, yeah.
If you want them to add directly to your slides, you need to change the viewing permissions.
Alrighty, hold on. Editor. What is it? The hub? Yeah.
You
see if this works. Everybody refresh.
Marissa, down at the very bottom where it says get link, Albuquerque Public Schools, anyone with this group can view.
Okay, here we go.
On the left, click plunge.
Got it.
Sweet.
All right, refresh once more. There we are. Okay, so to link a slide to a Post-it note, you add a slide, and then you copy the address, and then you link it to that text, paste. And then when, let's say I put my digital icebreaker slide right here, when you click on the Post-it, it takes you to the answer to that question or to whatever slide you're doing. So everybody, let's see what everyone is doing. And if we need to add another one of these, I think we can. So let me just copy this because we have like 30 people now, which is awesome. This has also worked for like a frequently asked questions sort of situation. And that way you don't have to spend all of your time answering all of the questions. It's kind of like crowdsourcing. Yes. And since you have access to this now, if you want to come back and add a slide later like these, you absolutely can do that. Have you ever? Ooh, I like it. Kid president is my favorite. Amazing. I like that one that helps them get up and move. Stand up, sit down, I think. Yeah. Awesome. What are you binge watching? So many things. If you want, you can put your email in your slide, and then if people want to ask you about it, then they can email you. And we've just created our own little learning community. Okay, we have 5 minutes. Are there any questions or comments or? Tara, what do you mean by their emails are their ID?
On the Indeed slide, there was a spot for them to put their email at aps.edu, and if the students are doing that, their student emails are their ID numbers.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. I did not know that.
and sometimes I don't let
Okay.
use their regular email because it's a little inappropriate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you don't want to do that. We don't want to FERPA. Maybe just take that one out, and then because they can communicate through Google Classroom,
yeah.
right? They can send each other messages. So maybe take that out and put something else there if you want. That's a good point. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Their ID numbers. Oof. Here, I'm going to take that out of that. I'm going to have to fix that later. That's a good point. I will figure out something else to put right there and adapt it later. Frustrated. Every time I try and click on something, I cannot leave a comment. Everyone seems to want to. Helen. Yeah, nickname would be good. Helen, one way that you could do that with kids is to put their names on slides beforehand, and then they have a slide that is automatically assigned to them. And that way no one is like pasting over everyone's stuff. I think maybe one way I could have made that easier is if I had separated them maybe by like last name. Like if your last name starts with A through G, use this slide. If your last name starts with H through L, do this slide. So I think there are ways that we can adapt it to make it work. But thank you. That is frustrating, especially if you are not used to doing it. And I don't know how old your students are, so I can see how that would be frustrating too. I think for the younger kids, you would want to assign slides, and you could put their names in the speaker notes or on the slide. Helen, you are getting better at it every day, and it is going to be okay. Yeah, Jamboard can work too. My only beef with Jamboard is that you can't tell who put what. And so if you have people with nefarious intentions, or if you're trying to figure out who is doing what, that's really difficult. And in slides, you can go back and you can see who made edits and who did what. So that's my only beef with Jamboard. Thanks, Helen. I'm not that amazing. I just have a lot of practice. What else? Do I have a favorite quick icebreaker for a high school advisory group? I do. I made a meme bracket for one of my other trainings this afternoon. Let me see if I can show you. I've been trying to figure out how to do it all summer long because if I had kids, that's what I would do. So let me see if I can pull it up. It's for my next training, but I'm gonna show it to you because I'm very proud of it. This is for the making the most of synchronous time. Can you see this? Am I doing it right? No? Okay, hold on. Here it is. Okay. Okay, so I have my meme bracket. And so what you do, this is the plan, is that everyone takes their marker and moves it next to the meme they want to vote for the best one, right? And this could go on like all year long. Like you could add a new meme every time. And then the next time you pick the one that won and you put it here. And then you reveal the next meme. And then they have to do it again and again and again. And you could ask the kids for their favorite memes, like they could send them to you, and then you could put them in the PowerPoint. And then at the end, you'll have a meme competition. You could even do like make your own memes. and do it that way. So that's my favorite one that I'm very proud of, because the Tiger King memes were the absolute best thing to come out of quarantine. And I wanted to make space for that. All right. Jeannie put the link to the survey that you're going to do at the end of all your sessions in the chat. Yes, all of these are being recorded and everything's going to be online. I think tomorrow. They were going to try and go for the end of the day because we know that not everyone can come and be away from their classes and everything. So if you wanted to share this with your colleagues or totally rip it off and do it for your colleagues, please do. I think that is part of our goal for all of these trainings, is for you to be able to take things back and share. And they're on the YouTube channel, which I don't know if anyone's introduced you to the YouTube channel yet, but it's up there and it is awesome.
It is linked on the TLN Hub on the homepage. There's a scrolling banner, and it's also linked on your TLF Summit resources.
Thank you, Deborah. Again, I've been trying to figure out what to do with memes all summer long.
And Marissa, just to be respectful of everyone's time, we are out of time for this session.
All right. Okay, email me. Fill out your survey, whatever. Everybody have a great day. Thank you so much for rearranging your schedule and coming to this live. We had no idea how it was going to go. So thanks for all your hard work. And I will probably see some of you later. And have a great day. All right. So now we can stop recording.